Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode. So on this channel, I think we're getting known for covering stocks like Workhorse and Helion, things like that, but sometimes I do actually like to chuck in a different stock. Tonight we're going to be looking at CLEANSPARK, which is a new stock. It's around electricity once again. We do like to cover a lot of electricity stocks on this channel because they are, in my opinion, the way forward. Of course, I am no financial advisor. Let's just get that one straight out of the way. I am no financial advisor, but I do think this is one stock for you to potentially watch, in my opinion at least. I think this one, with what the company is actually pioneering and doing, I think this stock could pop in the future to all-time new highs, and I think we have actually seen it reach new highs in the past few months. So just before we do start talking about the stock, I would appreciate it a lot if you guys could just subscribe, like the video. You can see here on screen 313. Honestly, last month we were on like 10, now we're on 313. I would appreciate it a lot if we could just get to 1,000. Please share this with your friends, share it with your family. Leave a like, do press that red subscribe button, it means so much if you could do that. Anyway, so now we're just going to have a quick analysis of the stock before we look at some other factors and why I think this is a stock to watch. On the 5-day, we are actually in the green, however we saw a high of 1480. We've come down since then all the way to the price point we are at now, which is 1137. On the 1-day, we are actually still in the red, just below market open, so not really too bad. You can see here how things happened. So previous market close was a little bit higher than what we're at now. We started off with lows today of around $10.84. It looks like we are starting to climb up now to $11.39. Not really too bad at all. We're getting up there, but we have still taken a loss for the 1-day. For the 1 month, we are actually still in the red, being as we started off on the 1 month for such a decent start, but we have actually seen the stock start to climb ever since a low point of around $8.50. We're going to be talking about that in just a moment, but we can see a high this month after that was actually $14.84. That's been rather recently. Then we saw dips all the way down to $11.52. Now we are even lower than that at $11.38, only just lower. It's hard to say where this one's going to go in the future for reasons which I'm going to explain, but looking at the larger picture, we can see just from May 2020, we saw the stock at the price of around $1.16. We're at $11 now. We've hit highs of almost $15. You can see this is a stock on the move. So, if it's a stock on the move, why has the stock been taking hits over the past few days? So I'm going to give my personal opinion on this. Obviously, nobody can actually predict 100% why the market is moving. But I think the reason for the market moving on this stock is because a lot of stocks have been taking hits recently, and pretty much all stocks have. We've seen Helion take hits, we've seen Workhorse take hits. These stocks have actually been bullish for so long, and now they are all starting to take a little bit of a pullback. This does happen with companies, obviously, as people do sell off, take profits, whatever. Also, this company, I believe, is trying to get into partnership with Tesla, or they are in partnership with Tesla as that's coming along. And with Tesla taking a hit, obviously subsequently related companies will also take the hit. So that's just a few reasons for this company taking such a small hit. Another reason is because it's actually a small market cap company. We're not even at $1 billion yet, we're at 198 million. And that sounds like a lot, but when we think about it from a company, I'm sure you guys know how this one works. We've got loads of companies at billions of dollars, and that's not even too significant sometimes. Apple over $2 trillion, I believe it was. So you can see this is a very small company, and what this means is it's actually going to be a rather volatile stock, as not too many people are invested. People are just taking quick profits, selling in, selling out. Bad news happens, good news happens. You can imagine, you know how this one works. If you watch the channel regularly, you know how this one works, because it's the same with Workhorse and Helion and some other stocks which we talk about, so you can imagine how this one is. So we're just going to look into what the company does tonight. In the future, I do intend to update you with some news on why the stock price is doing what it is, but we just did a quick analysis like we do in every episode. We're going to look at why the stock price is doing this, and also what we think this price is going to do in the future, and why this could potentially be a great company to invest in. So I'm going to be showing you a few articles and whatnot on why this could be a perfect stock investment for the next few years. Now, like I said, no financial advisor. I'm sure you guys already know this. I've just said it just a few minutes earlier, but I do really want to emphasize that I am no financial advisor or stock analyst. This is just my opinion. So, what is CleanSpark? So I found this article on proactive investors, as you can see here. If you do want to Google it yourself, honestly, I did have a quick skim through it. I found this to be quite a decent article in my opinion. It gives you some actual statistics on the company here, and it just tells you what the company is doing. So what this does is, it simply put, helps companies become more energy efficient. They make things like microgrids and whatnot. Like I said, if you want to go check this one out once you've watched the video, I think you probably should. Obviously, follow up everything that I say with your own research, because this is just a quick analysis on the company. But CleanSpark is on the Nasdaq, and it helps to and basically make companies more energy efficient. So we can imagine how this one works. Just to skim over the next paragraph, they also help to build microgrids whilst providing engineering, consulting, and turnkey implementation services. So we're going to talk about what microgrids are at the minute. So I found this article, well, this statement on Google. There's actually one on the CleanSpark website. We're going to be comparing these in just a moment, but a microgrid is a decentralized group of electricity sources and loads that normally operate in the connected and synchronous with with a traditional wide area synchronous grid. Sorry about that. I'm not really too great at reading, as you can see, but we can imagine what this one does. So basically, it's kind of like a unconnected energy sources. It's not a grid, it's a microgrid. I mean, if you know about grids, I'm sure that's pretty self-explanatory. I know that someone's going to comment saying, oh, that's a terrible basic description, but you know, we're looking at the stock, we're not really looking at what the company does. But to look at the stock on a fundamental basis, we need to look at what the company does and why this could be such a huge stock in the future. So this is going to be a huge stock in the future, in my opinion, because they are basically looking towards the future, making things more energy efficient. We can imagine how microgrids are going to be important. There's good benefits that come with microgrids, as we can imagine. We're not going to look too much into those, but let's just think about a few of those, which are, this company are good with batteries and grids, so they are actually good at producing these electronic components. Another thing is they are getting a lot of contracts at the minute, and this is helping to expand the company. So this is just looking into the future, what we can see on the company, what's already out. We've seen a lot of partnerships. I think Tesla's going to be one. I think they're actually partnering with the country Puerto Rico to try and help them become one of the world's first zero emissions countries. Very cool stuff coming for this company. In my opinion, this is going to force up the market cap as they continue to get more clients and customers and bigger contracts, as people are generally moving to emissions-free countries in a lot of the world. A lot of the world that is and isn't developed 100% yet, so we can imagine how this is going to work. Again, microgrids are also great for places that don't actually have a full-on grid network, in my opinion, and this is a lot of countries coming up. There are a lot of emerging countries, developing countries, which are growing into superpowers, as we can see, countries like China and India. Obviously, they do have their own grid networks, but there are still a lot of places like Africa and just remote places where we can imagine microgrids will come into the future play and become a lot more apparent and important as we move on, as everyone does become connected to things like electric vehicles, the internet, mobile phones, and all kinds of things which require electricity. So obviously, electricity demand is going to go into the future, and that's just my opinion. Now, I am not going to put a price target on this stock right now because I believe it's such a young stock. I will do that in a future video. I'm just trying to tell you what the company does here and why maybe you should look at investing in this one. Perhaps give it some time, but this is just my personal view. And I have gone onto my favourite website. If you don't already watch the channel, if you do watch the channel, you will know this. I really do quite like Money CNN, as it does generally offer good quotes and forecasts from analysts. So unfortunately this time we have only got one analyst, which is telling us what to do or looking at the stock. So the one analyst offering a 12-month price forecast for CleanSpark Inc. has, well, you see what's happened here is they put have because it's usually plural, but with this one it's only one. This person has a high of $18 with a median estimate of $18 and a low estimate of $18. So we can see this person basically expects it to hit $18 in general. Usually what happens is we've got about 5 analysts, then we look at what the highest analyst says and what the median, so basically all of the analysts say put together and then divided, and then we look at a low. So this time what's happened is we've just got one analyst, and this analyst is expecting a 58.73% rise in the next 12 months. Now here on this screen we can see here we have quite a sharp incline, and that points towards great things for the company as the stock price has shot up so high. So people might be thinking, is this stock actually parabolic? If we look into the top corner, we can see we are up 111.96% to date. This was clearly higher just before this mini crash, if you will, has happened a few days ago. So you could be asking yourself, is this a great time to buy the dip, or is the stock overinflated? Well, I think this is a good stock for the future if we are believing in things like a lot of countries getting electricity, a lot of countries becoming zero emissions. If we believe in things like the contracts with Tesla or whatnot, we can see here the sales are at 2.1 million right now. And there is a new reporting coming out on December the 15th, so we'll definitely be reporting on that one as well, along with a few other updates into the future with companies like this and Xpeng and a few other companies which we cover less often, but we are still going to cover. So yeah, I could say this one could be one to buy the dip, but when we are looking at buying the dip, we have to ask ourselves a few questions regarding this stock. Are we going to be able to put up with a long-term volatility of the stock? Because at the minute, the company is less than a billion in market cap. It's less than 200 million in market cap. For a company on the stock market, this is relatively low. What does this mean? It means that this company is going to be moving about all the time. Perhaps not the best thing to put CFDs on and things like that. But yes, if we want to invest in this for a long time, it may be a decent stock. Think about it. Now, I know this is going to be classed as a terrible analogy, but let's just say we have, I don't know, 5 chocolate buttons, and somebody takes away 1 chocolate button, then we've only got 4 chocolate buttons. Now that seems like quite a bit less, or if somebody takes away 2. Now, if we have 150 chocolate buttons and somebody takes away 1, then that's kind of like taking away $1 off the price of, I don't know, a larger stock, whereas taking $1 off the price of a smaller stock like this is going to have much more of a significant impact because that percentage will be higher. I know that was kind of a terrible analogy, but I'm sure you understand what I'm saying with that one. We're going to see volatility with this stock. Consider that I think that we may see growth in this stock in the next few years. So ask yourself, can you see this one going well? Can you see the contracts going through? Can you see this company getting more contracts into the future? And can we see revenue and sales going higher? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this short video. If you did, please leave a like. Please do subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye for this one.